What's up, guys? Yeah, just looking back on everything and seeing how much I've learned and how stupid I was when I was younger. By the way, I didn't have anybody telling me what to do and what not to do. I learned everything on my own. I was being set up by a feminist mother to be a doormat for any woman. Then, when I started working for my uncle and seeing the male side of all that, I didn't want any parts of either side of it. Him telling me that I work hard, so I should play hard, that means it's an excuse to go and drink or, be at a club or this or that. And it wasn't. And I was so fucking mad at him for trying to teach me that because I already knew better. Oh, it pissed me off so bad. I was so tired of having all these men that come, in my life to teach me shit, teaching me that I have to be a fuck boy or act like one. And no, I don't. I don't know where along the lines that you all thought that that was an alpha male. That's not an alpha male. That's a very scared male. He's not even a mature male. Well, see, keeping my word is what got me into a lot of bullshit with these other women. Because as soon as I thought we were at an understanding, you know, I would give them my word on things as long as they kept things the way they should. And they would deliberately go against it. And I'm not talking about just a little bit to test it. I'm talking about full fledged fucking against it until they found something that in their brain they could use against me. That right there is spitting in a man's face, daring him to do something. And when he doesn't do it, you want to push him more. See, what you're trying to do there is cause him to bottle all that up to where it comes out in rage. So when it does come out in rage, you can act like a victim. Knowing the whole damn time you were kicking the shit out of this bear until he finally showed his claws or teeth at you. Now all of a sudden, it's his fault? Oh, I don't think so. Sean, I don't know what the fuck happened to you, bro. I thought you were cool as shit, dude. Calm, cool, always had a decent car. You worked hard, didn't mess with nobody. You're actually, that's my type of people. Yes, to Morgan Court, when you came there and you started asking your sister, is he afraid of me? Did I act like I was afraid of you? She called you there because I wanted her to leave. Then you took it upon yourself to assume things and talk to me a certain way. And I told you, I assure you, none of that is going on. That's all I did. That shows fear? Where the fuck does that show fear? Do you know what fear is? Because that's not fear. I didn't get rude or loud or disrespectful with you because you never did with me. You started to that night because you were starting to believe your sister. And I told you, don't even go there. The reason why I told you, don't even go there, is because it's not true. She said that we were fighting and I was just being rude to her. No, I just wasn't saying anything to her. She was in my ear, running her mouth about me working. And she got me fired from Six Flags because she couldn't go to work with me. That's what I was pissed off about. She called and told them that I had quit. That was a very good job. I've been waiting to get a big corporate job like that. And why did I do that? Because she didn't want me doing carpet and flooring, even though I told her I'm not going to work for a carpet, you know, store, but I am going to do stuff on the side when it comes up. So I went to Six Flags and got a job with my friend, which was 2 hours away. She was pissed. Uh, well, she was put on bed rest because she apparently was having complications, even though that was a lie. She tried to act like she was having complications so it would mess with my job. Really, I was such an asshole, but she didn't want me to leave. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't at all. Why don't you ask her what she was doing with my neighbor while I was working? Yeah, you know, the one that has a girlfriend that likes to invite other girls into their relationship. Uh huh. So, why exactly did you go out in a dump truck with this man and this woman when you were supposed to be on bed rest? Right. Doesn't get all dressed up for me, but gets all dressed up to go out with them. Yeah. Getting in and out of a dump truck with a mini skirt on while you're pregnant. Really? That's funny. Yeah, that was the first day of me doing work for myself, and guess what? I made a lot more money and I was a lot quicker. Imagine that, because I wasn't hourly anymore. Yeah, when I went to work with Rich Monty, he tried to put me on hourly, even though I knew what that was. It's just him getting over on me. And I told him, I said, this ain't gonna be like this forever. Yeah, this is a dude that knew damn well I was an installer, and that's what he did to try and cut my throat. Then he tried to mess with my girlfriend, and you figure that she would, be defensive about that. Nope. He had a very, very unclean helper named Eric, and she disappeared with Eric. Yeah, I never ever thought that she would do that, but she did. And Eric proceeded to tell me and show me everything that she was trying to do. Yeah, Jenny Jen, remember that? Super Kids, right? Remember that's where I taught Rich how to install because he was trying to have a three-man circus going on that was retarded. And I said, why is he gonna stretch the room, me cut it in, and then you come behind us and tuck it in? What the fuck is that? By the time he got done explaining why it would go that way, I already had the one big room stretched, cut, and tucked, and was on my way to the other one. And we only had 2 big rooms and a hallway. That means over a third of that job is already done while he's still running his mouth. Right. See, Rich was an installer at American Home Interiors. He knew what I was capable of because of Dave. And you can say what the fuck you want, Jen. You were there when Dave kept putting me up for raises my first year. He put me up for so many raises, I wasn't even allowed to get a raise. Any more raises for the rest of the year. Because Dave pushed for me to get raises because of how good I was. You think that went away when I went to Rich? No, it didn't. You seen me do our apartment. I'm the one who put that carpet in. Yep, and the apartment next to ours, the one above us, and the one behind us. Yep. Oh, yeah. But the problem was me. No, the problem was you. Pretty funny, when I was by myself, I didn't have these problems. As soon as I added a girl to my life, all of a sudden I'm having these problems. Imagine that. Wonder where those problems came from. Do you talk about how you tried to hit on my best friend again in front of my face? Trying to act like he was the dude that gave you a necklace at a mental home that you went to? Come to find out, it wasn't him. You were lying. You knew it wasn't him. You just tried to do that to see if you could woo him over. You realize that's the wrong one? That one right there will get you into hard drugs, get you all fucked up, and leave you like a bad habit. I've known him since I was in elementary school. He's exactly like my brother. Oh, another one that you messed with. My brother. You don't tell people that, do you? Yeah, bet you don't. Somebody needs to tell me why these women do this. And I don't want some bullshit story. I want the fucking truth. Why the fuck do they do this? I've never cheated on anybody in my life. Never. Even when I started dating Jen, there was a girl named Kim that me and her had dated way before this. And I hadn't talked to her in months. I told her it was done because of what she did to try and mess with my friend Josh. Oh yeah, sat on his fucking car, wouldn't fucking get off when he wanted to leave. Oh yeah, she was fucking obsessed with that dude. I mean, to the point where he had to pull off out of my driveway and she still wouldn't get off his car. And after that, I told her, I said, you can consider us done. What? I didn't do that. Oh yeah, you did. If you think I'm that fucking stupid, you better go try another one because I'm not. Oh yeah, that was right. Shortly after me and Yvonne, and every time this girl would get near me, I would start shaking. And she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know. This is new." She's like, "You're not doing that on purpose?" I fuck no. You know, like how you get shakes when you're cold. Yeah, I've never had that happen to me in my life. I've had plenty of fucking crazy ass fucking relationships. Um, I've never had that happen. Yeah, Yvonne did the same shit. And then tried to act like I threw her under the bus when I started talking about it on Facebook to one of these chicks that was running their mouth to me. And I quickly fucking went right to her and said, "Really? I'm throwing you under a bus? No, I'm speaking of what the fuck you did. It's not throwing you under a bus. That's called facts. Did you do this? Yes. Okay, then. Maybe you shouldn't have done it, and then I wouldn't be able to speak of it." Yeah, my fucking brother told my mom all kinds of shit. That way, she would cover his ass for what he was doing. I can't believe she actually listened. Well, it's partly because her younger sister messed around with, I guess, one of her boyfriends. So my brother used that to make her believe that it was the other way around, and she believed it. She doesn't now, but she did then. And that's why, because she thought that he was being made fun of, which he wasn't. Yeah, this is my older brother, by the way. And that's what he did. Everybody covered for him, even her uncle. That was me and him. I thought we were really tight. That's the one I started bowling with. I don't know why all of them had bowling. I don't. But yeah, he was the one that I. That's when I started bowling because of him. He was the one that taught me how to, you know, bowl it down the lane nice and smooth. He taught me how to do the hook ball, all that. But yeah, he lied for her. But then when me and my brother got in that fight, he acted like he was on my side. That's only because I beat the living shit out of my brother. Even the cops were on my side, and it wasn't even my girlfriend technically at the time, and I wasn't supposed to be there. Yeah, this girl tried to tell me at the end of her driveway when we were talking this through after I beat up my brother that it was nothing personal and we could still be friends. And you end up pregnant and have a son that is now my nephew. What the fuck? Yeah, these are the fucking weirdos I run into. And I always thought I was weird and nerdy, but damn, at least I got fucking morals and values about me. Yeah, my brother's done a lot of bad shit, man. A lot. What was it over? I don't know. Of course, he'll probably have an excuse for it. But that's why he doesn't tell me because he knows he ain't gonna come with me with some bullshit excuse. I'm just gonna pick it apart and be like, "Really? This is why? How is that?" Yeah, I remember letting it go too. Me and him, same driveway, talking in his Jeep. And I told him, I don't do this shit to you. I'm your fucking brother. I would never ever do that to you. Oh, he said, I know I fucked up. I said, Willie, you keep doing this. This isn't just one fuck up, bro. This is like five, dude. Yeah, girls would find me. I'd start dating them. I'd go to work. Next thing you know, I'm fucking around with my brother or my cousin or one of my friends telling me that, oh, I abandoned them or, oh, they just had a change of heart. Really? All I did was go to work. What the fuck you mean? Some of them would try to pull the abandonment card. And it's like, really? Well, one of us has got to fucking work. We can't stay home and fucking live off air. I mean, we could if we lived off grid, but that ain't gonna happen. Which, yeah, I tried to talk them into doing that plenty of times. Nope, wouldn't do that. Yes, how lazy they are. That would have been terrible for me. I would have been doing every motherfucking thing. I would have been growing the food. I would have been hunting. I would have been keeping the fucking homestead fucking going. Why they just sat there and enjoyed it. And with Tiffany, I was about to let all that fucking ignorant shit happen as long as she wasn't cheating. And guess what? Give her one fucking rule because she can't handle the three, even though those rules applied for both of us, not just her. Same rules I've always had. Love, trust, and respect. Obviously, that means communication, even though people try to fucking throw that in. That all falls under that. That's why you don't have to say that. That's called dissecting. I done dissected it enough. If you can't understand what that means, then you shouldn't be getting in a relationship. And yeah, I tried to get in a relationship when I was young because that's what I wanted. I didn't want to be running around doing the shit that I seen my brother and sister doing. I didn't want that at all. And it found its way to me, even though I wasn't the one doing it. Yeah, I didn't go out and party hard like them. I went to parties, but I did not drink. If I did, it was a beer. And I mainly smoked weed. And no, I didn't smoke that much either. These motherfuckers would try and smoke a whole ounce in one sitting. I'm like, damn. Well, that just means you don't know what you're doing. Yes, it does. It means my fucking wallet, no matter how big it is not being diminished because somebody thinks it's funny to try and smoke a whole ounce in one night. That's retarded. That is what you call drunkenness. That is what you call fucking going over the line. No wonder you all get in so much trouble. I said a little bit of weed. I didn't say fucking cartel's whole fucking stash. Yeah, that's a joke. But yeah, these people, dude. Wow. And what's funny is these are the ones out here trying to give people words of wisdom and you know talk about strength and all this shit, motherfucker. I swear. Just so you all know, I've never, ever, ever wanted money. I never worked because I wanted money. I worked because I wanted a life and a family. The money part was just part of it. Yeah, there were plenty of times we were gonna get off grid and not deal with this bullshit called life, but they couldn't do it. Even though it's only a little rough until you get things built and settled. Well, after that, it's not that bad. It's about the same, really. You don't have internet, which we didn't have internet for the longest time. That shit didn't come into play with me and relationships until fucking me and Tiffany. And I knew something was up when her cousin tried to talk me into letting her get a phone with internet on it. And I'm like, she has a phone. We don't need internet. And the reason why I wouldn't do that is because she would get on MySpace behind my back and start having fucking college parties at my house while I'm at work. Yeah. Remember, if you guys have ever seen the movie Project X? Yeah. It would look like that went on at my house. Yep. Kids there and everything. She didn't fucking care. And before I could get this chick to settle the fuck down, I got Jen pulling shit with Jazz. I got fucking the community fucking starting shit because my girl's out there fucking running around with all kinds of dudes, which is causing all kinds of other shit to happen. All I did was go to work, come home. Go to work, come home. That was it. I did what I was supposed to do. Yeah, I didn't know what quite to do when it was just me and her, and she was caught in some of that stuff, and I'd have to take fucking days off work to try and talk some sense into this chick, and then I would try and pick my job back up. That's another reason why I had to quit with my uncle. He wanted me to leave her or lose my job, which I knew it was going to come to that because every time he gave me a rule about, you know, being on my phone and not working because I don't know what it was. I was still as fast as I was. It's just he would just happen to come around the fucking corner every damn time I was trying to text her to appease her. He would every fucking time, dude. It was like clockwork. This motherfucker ain't nowhere in the job until I go to text her. And then here he is. And me and him got in fights over that. And I said, if I have a hands free, you can't say shit because it doesn't stop me from working. Even though I'm texting her with one hand and still working. Or I would get the whole fucking shot done up to where he wanted me to. And then I'd shoot her a quick text and then I'd do the next part. Yeah, it's fucking insane trying to fucking please both of these motherfuckers. But I seen why he said that. Because even though I was still getting the work done, it was still costing us an extra hour. Even though I don't know how it was, I was still moving. But he wanted it done faster. I thought, shit, okay, he's just trying to train me how to get stuff in and out so I can have more of my day. No. He was training me to get stuff in and out so he could bring more in. Yeah, there was times we did 3 and 4 jobs a day. Yeah. I think he was also trying to piss her off, which that worked like a charm. Yeah, I don't know why people, when they get somebody that's chill, loyal, doesn't fuck with shit, they have to turn them into a ping pong ball. I don't know why. Well, they think it's funny to fuck with you, but they don't think it's funny when you get pissed off. Right. You don't have time to make sure the kids are taken care of properly. You don't have time to, do anything else because you're always on the fucking computer, which that was a mistake. That's what I mean. Every time I get something to upgrade our life, dude, she turns it into a tool to fucking fuck with our life. And it's like, what are you doing? And all I get is the fucking little spoiled ass bitchy attitude. I can do what I want. Not if it's against us, you can't. You're right. You can do whatever the hell you want. But if it's fucking cheating and having parties in front of my kids and doing shit that you know damn well I don't agree with, then no. What the fuck are you doing? This is why we had a talk before we ever even dated. And you're sitting here doing exactly what you told me you were not going to do. No wonder you had so many fucking fucked up relationships. Look at what you and your mom are doing. Yeah, it was all a lie. Her and her mom targeted me. Why? Because I was a nice guy. That's why. Yeah, same thing Jen tried to do. Same thing Bethany tried to do. Same thing Yvonne tried to do. They were all young. Oh, really? So how come they kept doing it? Even when they approached their 30s, they were still doing it to other people. You want to explain that to me? I'm sure you can come up with an excuse. How about the truth? They didn't fucking care. How about that? Is it so wrong to say what the truth is? No, it's not. A lot of these things I don't like talking about because people form their own opinions, and it's like, no, is that what I said? No, it's not. That's what you thought. That's not what I said. And most of them are used to seeing a video, so that's what they're expecting to see. And I don't have any of this on video. I have all the good times on video. Well, not really video, slideshow. But when me and Jen were dating, we didn't have that capability. Even my phone that had a camera, I wasn't taking fucking pictures. That shit was expensive. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened to everybody. Even my cousin Vern, that I gave him a place to live. Me and him were like brothers. And he's seen a lot of this shit that she's lying about. And even him, he's caught an attitude. Sticks his nose up in the fucking air like he's better. Motherfucker, I've always been there for you. Always. I ain't telling you to lie. I'm telling you to tell them the truth. That's all I said. And he did. He told my mom what, about her lying and all this stuff. But anything else, it's like he just goes quiet. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like the day he was here and my son Talon showed up with two black eyes. Yeah, he had a broken nose. And his mother dropped him off. And while she's in the driveway, I looked at Talon. I said, what happened? And he just looked down and said, Mom. And I said, what? And I looked at Vern and I said, you see this? Vern said, yeah. I said, talk to him for a minute. And I went out the door. That was the first time Tiff sat Nolan behind her car and then reversed it like a fucking hellion, not even watching traffic to get away because she knew. But she used that baby as bait every time to get away. She fucking knew it. I'm going to fuck you up. You keep hurting my fucking kids, man. What the fuck is this? It's ridiculous, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. This bitch had every fucking drug addict and alcoholic around these fucking kids. Courts wouldn't do nothing. And after the kids locked Talon out and almost got him shot. Even with David leaving the house and walking up the main road to me, well, he was trying to get to me, but a state trooper picked him up. And he said he wanted to go to his dad, and that cop said, "I am not taking you to your dad." So that means my nephew Brian, somehow, before that happened, had already manipulated his family that's in the state police and the sheriffs, even though he's a fucking alcoholic and a heroin addict. Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean it. Yes, it does. It means a lot. Yep, these are all the people that protect his ass no matter what he does. Why? Because of his grandfather, which would be my stepdad. Yeah, he played a part in it. He was the one that gave them the idea to get them in a car accident. He was the one that did that. He was also messing with Tiffany at work, getting in all kinds of trouble, trying to get me to go up there and get his car while it's surrounded by cops because he was doing burnouts in the parking lot. And now there's a whole bunch of cops waiting to arrest him. So he wanted me to go up there and get in his car and take the rap for it. Trying to tell me if I was his uncle or his family, I would. Yeah, nice try, motherfucker. I told him if you were my nephew, you wouldn't be out there doing that shit, getting in trouble. He didn't like that. That's messed up, man. Well, it's messed up telling you the truth? Yeah, I bet it is. It's messed up that you're fucking almost 30 years old and you don't know how to settle the fuck down and stop causing problems. Maybe that's because you were spoiled. You want to know what spoiling to me was? You know what a surprise or, you know, a gift for being Have was? An extra glass of soda or juice. Yeah, that's about my extent. People think that's a joke. Nope, that's what my parents considered a reward. Shit, my mom told me at 7, 8 years old I was too small to cut the grass because I wanted to cut our grass, and she wouldn't let me. So she left, went to work. I went to my neighbor's house with our mower and cut her grass for free because she was the only one close enough that had real high grass. So I said, "Watch this shit." I took it over there. I cut her grass, trimmed up against the trailer with a pair of scissors because I wasn't good with a weed eater. You damn right I used a pair of scissors. Say what you want. It worked. And just my luck. Well, I don't think my mom went to work. She went somewhere though, because she wasn't gone that long, long enough for me to cut that lady's grass. And I was heading back across the road with the mower, and here they both come. Which, talk about freaking bad timing. The neighbor, I did not have permission to cut her grass. I just cut it. And mom told me I wasn't allowed to touch the mower because it wasn't big enough. So I was in double trouble. Or at least I thought. And the lady come home and she got out of her car and she already seen me crossing the road with the mower. I mean, she's only right across the little trailer park street. It's not like it's that hard not to notice me. So I parked the mower, and as soon as I did, she gets out of her car and says, "Did you do that?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "But," I said, "You don't owe me anything. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, but Mom said I wasn't old enough to cut the grass, and ours was already done, but yours wasn't, so I did it." She started laughing. And as soon as I said that and threw my hands up and kind of laughed back with her, my mom pulled in. And ho ho, I was in trouble. But that lady, even though I told her there was no charge, all that, she came over, gave my mom $15, and told her to make sure I got it. And the next time it needs mowed, if I would do it, she would really appreciate it. So that's how my mowing business started. Yep, I got done hers, then her neighbor wanted it, so I moved to them, and then her neighbor wanted it, so I moved to him, and then his neighbor wanted it, so I moved to them, and it just kept going. There was times I'd cut grass for free because there'd be people watching. And I don't know if they lied to me or not, but I guess I was just being a nice kid. But they're like, "Yeah, but I don't have the money to pay nobody." And I would tell them, "I'll talk to you in a minute." I'd get done them, and then I'd walk over them and be like, "Just don't tell nobody I didn't charge you." "What?" "Yeah, you heard me." And I'd cut their grass. And they did. They told everybody I charged a certain amount and all this other stuff. And I'm like, "What? I didn't tell you to say that." But I couldn't argue with it because it got me more work. So, and there's a couple of older ladies in there that they couldn't cut their grass. And the boys that normally did it charged them an arm and a leg. So I didn't charge them nothing. And they would feed me lunch and, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's how I made friends. It's also how I got into fights. Yeah. I didn't want to, but that's how these boys dealt with being bored, I guess. I don't know. I was used to gangs of kids, starting fights. When I was 4 years old, I used to have to fight my way to school every day. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Yep, all because I was a white boy in the projects. Yeah. No, I never held that against people. I held it against those people, but not everybody. I can't. I had an old man that was named Willie. Old black man. He's the funniest man I've ever met in my life. And he was the dude that taught me how to play basketball. One day I was out there being, typical white kid, kicking a ball because I didn't know how to play basketball. And he got all mad. Well, not mad, but stern with me. He's like, "What are you doing? You're going to make it lopsided. It's not going to bounce right." I said, "What?" And he pointed it out. It started to make like a knuckle on the side of the ball. And I didn't know that. I figured it was a ball, kick it. Then he brings out a ball and he says, "Now this is a ball." And I fucking love that ball. It was awesome. Wilson, it was nice, dude. Black, silver trim. Oh, man, it was the coolest basketball I ever seen in my life. I was also 4. Okay, relax, people. But anyway, he brought this ball out and he showed me how to air it up. make sure the nozzle's moist, make sure you do it a certain way so you don't, mess anything up. And it taught me how to air it up to where it bounces the right way and not too much, because you can air them up to where they'll bounce all crazy. Then he taught me, dribbling, and he used to, take it through his legs and spin it on his finger. I was 4 years old. Of course, I tried it, and that worked out well. Yeah, you can probably imagine what happened. Anyway, so I learned to lift my leg up, because I wasn't tall enough. So I learned to lift my leg up and go under my leg. He would laugh. He thought that was so funny. He's like, "That's not. Never mind. Just whatever." We would laugh because I tried the Michael Jackson, as in going up on my tippy toes and trying it. That didn't work either. I was still too short. Every time you do a video, it sounds like you're smoking. Yeah. The ones I do close together, it's still the same unit. It's an old redneck metal bowl. Doesn't even hold a half gram. And I pack it lightly. I don't pack it like normally. So it's probably a little bit less than that. And it'll last me, shoot, pretty much all day. I know other people will. How does that even touch you? My tolerance is because you made your tolerance so high. I learned not to do that. Was my tolerance higher than that before? Yeah. I got, roped into smoking more than what I normally do. I didn't get roped into smoking as much as they wanted me to. I mean, back then, shoot, man, everything that's running on the streets was running back then. It's just they have new shit now, Molly and all that other stuff, bath salt. Which y'all are crazy, Flacco. You're crazy. Yeah, I never wanted to touch any of that shit. None of it. I seen what drugs and alcohol did to people when I was younger. And I didn't want no parts of that. I was against weed when I was younger too. Before I started smoking, my brother did that. Fucker. But what he didn't realize is I noticed that something that helped a problem. And for the longest time, I thought it was just a drug, confusing me. And then we started getting taught that everything they prescribe to you is a drug anyway. And most of the time, worse than any of those. So then I started looking into what they were prescribing me. And I'm like, what the hell? Why am I taking that? If this is safer, doesn't make me, you know, feel the way that does, and it still does the same job. So yeah, I made kids think that I was out being the cool kid when really all I was doing was fixing my brakes. And I still think most of that came from the fucking sub shop explosion. Well, before I didn't. Before I thought it was, you know, that and I have an ADHD or whatever. But then when my nephew had his accident and he ended up having a real big problem with brakes, I started to notice that it looks like it's from head trauma because that's basically the same thing I got, just not as bad as he got it. He got it bad. I did. I tried to warn them they shouldn't be riding four wheelers without helmets. I told them that. They said, "We're not pussies." Yeah, till something happens. When my mom called me and told me that he was in the accident, that's the first thing I fucking said. Why the fuck was he not wearing a helmet? She hung up on me. Right. Hang up on the one that actually speaks sense. How the fuck are my brother and sister older than me, but they allowed a child to go out there and get fucked up like this? None of my kids ever did. Oh, they rolled four wheelers. They did all that shit at Uncle John's. They had to have a helmet on, right? You ain't even touching the key to that thing unless you got a helmet on. It's the way it works. I don't care who says you're a wimp. Don't care. You go talk to these motocross riders. You go talk to Uncle Nick. Let him tell you. He's semi-pro motocross. And trust me, he wears all the gear. There's a reason for it, and he is not no pussy. He is a very, very strong dude, and he loves racing. But he also makes sure to wear his protective gear. Now, I'm pretty sure sometimes he'll probably jump on a bike and show off without a helmet. I hope not, but he probably would. And not doing that shit though. If he's going on a track or something, he's wearing gear. Trust me, I used to clean the gear and get it all ready when he was racing. So I know he wears gear. Shoot, I think those dudes even wore a cup, to tell you the truth. Which I would. Yeah. You're flying on those things. You fuck up, dude. You could really, really hurt yourself. And I mean, I'm not scared of pain, but I don't want to make myself a vegetable just because I'm not scared of pain. It's not about the pain. Can't help brain damage. You can get over pain, you can heal from cuts, but brain damage doesn't normally heal. You might get lucky and it heal a good bit, but it'll never be the same again. Now, there are some people that have defied that because they were hard headed and they pushed for it, but it took them a while. I mean, a long while. And yeah, I did try to teach him that, but it's also up to him. I know it's probably a lot to deal with. It's not the same. Trust me, it is a lot to deal with, especially trying to live life. It's even worse with that. It's not just because of the things you got to do, it's because of other people. That's what makes it the worst because they don't understand it. And, you know, there's things that they will do that will fuck with it. And it drives you insane because you're just trying to get stuff done. And you're trying not to be rude to them because they don't understand. But, you know, there's times when you tell people, hey, look, when you do this, it really takes me off track. And I'm not talking about normal people where they get off track and then get, pretty much right back on, which I can too. It's just, it just, I don't know what to say. It just fucks up my whole flow, my whole train of thought. And sometimes I can't get back on track at all. And it really, really makes me mad, especially when I'm in a good working groove. And they do it on purpose. That's another thing they used to do to get me because they knew that kind of shit would make me mad. And they thought it was funny to make me mad and mess with me while I was at work. So yeah, it was a fight and a task just to be able to do all that. And that's without somebody messing with you. But like I said, I faced things that were my problems head on. That's the whole reason why I started doing blue collar jobs and stuff like that, because it got me to where I had to be a start to finish or I didn't get paid. And that was one of the things with ADHD is that, you know, it said that they don't like to finish things. So I figured, what the hell? Go to a finished job. You are not getting paid if you can't finish. Right? Right. At first, I tried restaurants and dealing with customer service and all that stuff, and that just drove me insane. I didn't mind the cooking, the cleaning, and all that. It was just dealing with the people. Them, I wanted to duct tape and shoot them with spitballs until they shut up. All they would lie, they would manipulate, throw a fucking fit about the smallest of fucking thing just because they wanted to make a big scene and try and get shit for free. Or it's like, what the fuck? Come on, people. Why don't you go back there and do a load of them dishes? Then I'll give you a free meal. Damn. Yeah, that way I can focus on just steaming crabs instead of steaming crabs and washing dishes and prep cooking and shit. Yeah, I was 14. We had a cook, a prep cook, a steamer, and a dishwasher. And the prep cook and the steamer decided not to show up. So the dishwasher was thrown on prep cooking, steaming crabs, and keeping up with the dishes and making sure the tables were bussed and all the dishes were brought to the back. So I still had to do all that too, and make sure the bar had enough ice. That was also my job, and to make sure if the keg got low, that I would switch it out. Yep, my little ass switching out a keg. Want to talk about strength, boy? But to tell you the truth, they didn't feel that heavy to me. Yeah, the first time he had me switch one out, he looked at me like I was crazy, and I'm like, "What? What'd I do wrong?" And he's like, "How are you moving that like that?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just moving it. Why?" He's like, "Those things are heavy as shit." I said, "They're not that bad." And I started, I went to pick it up, and he's like, "No, no, no," because I do look small, but he didn't understand. But yeah, I rock climb. I do roofs. I do freaking miles and miles of walking every day. Then I go swimming. Then I come back, walk a few more miles, climb more cliffs. I'm talking about freehand, no rope. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. And yeah, I'm lucky I made it. You're exactly right. Problem was, I did not know that then, and I was made to get out of the house. So I had to find something to do. And where I live, there was a river about a mile, maybe a mile and a half down from us. But you could also take the cliffs, which was fun, as long as you did it right. If you did not do it right, you were going to be hurting. Didn't know that I was playing with in woods that was filled with copperheads and moccasins and a lot of things that most people would probably run screaming. But yeah, we used to pick them up out of our minnow bucket right by the back of the neck and toss them down the creek, and they'd look at us and take off like, bitch. Yeah, copperheads, man. Grab them right by the back of the neck, take them out of the minnow bucket, and toss them down the creek. Well, they couldn't bite you if you did that, but you had to be careful grabbing behind the neck because if you didn't get it, they would get you. And I don't know what it is, but when my mom and my brother went fishing, they came across one that chased them. And I've never had one that chased me. I had a cottonmouth that came up the side of the bank after me. Didn't go well for him. But oh, I wasn't gonna hurt him. I was just walking, and I seen him leach out, like try and get me. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I tried to get away from him, and he kept following me and chasing me. And then I finally turned around, stuck my foot on his head, picked him up, and won him. And he went flying. Wee! Yeah, that's back when we used to walk there, go down the waterfall and the cliff way, because there's a cliff, waterfall. They're close together, but we didn't like taking the waterfall because once you got to the bottom, it was like mud and quicksand. Oh yeah, it was so marshy and nasty. If you didn't hurry up and get across it, you were sinking. And oh yeah, I lost all kinds of shoes and socks and that shit. We used to put coins on the tracks and wait for the train to run them over, squish them. Then we'd have to run down the track and find out where it fell off at. You were playing on the railroad tracks? Yeah. Good thing I was smart enough to get the fuck out of the way when a train came. Oh, it was miles. Straight track. You could tell. And trust me, that train would let you know, boy. He'd be miles down the track, airing that thing out if he seen anybody on it. So he did his job well. He made sure people seen him, but you could also feel the ground and the tracks. It'll start vibrating. Yeah, it'll start vibrating, and you can tell. I don't know what it is. The wood would tell you more than the metal. I don't know why that is. I figured the metal track would tell you more than the wood does, but I guess it transfers, and the rail will start to vibrate, but the wood will. I don't know if it's because it's softer and more bouncy. I don't know. All I know is I would feel it in the wood things across underneath the tracks that it was running on more than I would the rail, way quicker. And that's why I used to hop on them because I knew if a train was coming, I would feel it. And I normally could tell when it was about 2 miles behind me. Yep, you could see it 2 miles away. Little light black dot, and if you really paid attention, you could feel it. Now, if you weren't paying attention, you probably wouldn't feel it until it got closer. But yeah, I lived around dangerous stuff all the time. And if anybody's seen me, I still have all my digits. Never even broke a bone until I was 18. And that was my fault. Bad technique. Yep, I was mad, not thinking it hit something and broke my hand. Well, at the time, I felt it was better than, hitting the person that was trying to make me mad. And oh, yeah, they were trying as hard as they could, and they did it. They made me mad as shit. Took them a while, but they did it. It's okay. As soon as he comes back, everybody gonna know every bit of truth. And hoo 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 hoo. Some of y'all ain't gonna like that truth. I know I'm good. I know most people don't think I am. I don't care. I know I am. I'm anointed. I did get baptized, And it does say once saved, always saved. So, and that was after I had already went through church as a kid, became an atheist, and decided to go back because I was wrong. And I still remember that 3 hour freaking argument with that preacher. Oh, I feel so stupid now. I was so mad at him. He just kept smiling at me. I'm like, what? I'm winning, ain't I? And he's like, yeah, but you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. I said, what? He said, yeah, most people have to take a trip outside to figure out what's right and what's wrong. He said, you really think you're doing that without him? And I just started thinking, I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, did you ever think that he gave you free will so you could go wild and figure out that it was wrong? I'm like, what? He said, well, you really don't learn wisdom until you screw up or watch somebody else do it. And when you watch somebody else do it, you might learn it, but you don't learn it firsthand. And I was just like, wow, really? I mean, I didn't say really to him. I'm just thinking it in my head because, I'm plugging it in. You know what I mean? And I don't know why, but it made sense. 3 fucking hour argument just to be told that I'm doing exactly what he wanted me to do to learn what I needed to learn. I said, so me praying for strength and courage meant that I had to take a trip away from him to learn how to fight my way back. And he said, pretty much. And if you think about that, that is a strength. I didn't think of it then. I was totally blindsided. You were a what? Yeah. I wasn't the type of atheist everybody thinks, you know, like the ones that believe in uh the heck is his name? Odin and whatnot. I didn't take it that far. I don't know why, but when they started talking about that kind of stuff and, you know, witchcraft and white lighters, and I'm like, that's all evil. And they're like, no, it's not. It's good. I'm like, well, Bible says any type of witchcraft is evil, even the white lighters, or even if it says it's for good. So I don't trust it. So I didn't go into that kind of stuff, and anything that was satanic, I thought I was staying away from. But I found out there's only black and white with God. There is no gray area. Now, I mean, he might allow you to stay in a gray area because he knows you're figuring things out, but that doesn't mean he agrees with it. He just knows you got to learn. And yeah, he might not hold it against you depending on how you turn out. No, no, I am not a saint. I have made tons of mistakes, but I'll tell you where I didn't make mistakes, and that was with my kids. I didn't make any mistakes with them at all. I was made to look like I did, but I didn't. And I'll take that to my grave. They were never abused. I don't see how Nerf battles and dance parties and laser lights and playing Wii and playing Nintendo and PlayStation was abuse. I mean, we didn't always do that all day long, you know. what we like doing together. Just like the car video. Um, the kids were upset because their mom had alienated them from me because she found out that they weren't being bad for me and that, I was just telling her that because David told her. As soon as she found that out, she alienated them from me. Courts wouldn't do anything about it, even though it was going against a court order. Then she let me have them for one weekend, and then I went to Kirsten's concert, and she was trying to get Kirsten to ride with her, and Kirsten wouldn't do it. And I even thought it was weird. I'm like, "What's the matter, Kirsten?" And she's like, "Nothing," because they were all around. But as soon as she got in the truck with me and we headed to the concert, she was telling me she don't trust them. They scare her, and she didn't want to ride with them. And I said, "Well, you can always call me to give you a ride. I don't know if they'll allow it. That is another part of it." Yeah, I was always made to listen to their mother, even by the courts, even though they seen that she was doing shit that was wrong. They didn't do anything about it. They just ignored it. Even the video that the kids and I did, we did multiple videos. That last one was the one where they were talking about how she and her mom had a plan to put them in a dangerous situation and to manipulate my family and friends so they would be on her side before she did it and after she did it. And I told them, does she realize if she hurts you, I'm going to get her in trouble? And I tried everything. And she did exactly that. She manipulated everybody and even tried to act like she was at her house when it happened that she didn't know. She knew. I know for a fact she knew.